Hey, what's up out there? The Relentless Hope podcast. Don't know what number it is. David Cravens with my beautiful, sexy, savage, hot wife.
What's up out there?
What's your name?
My name is Jonna.
Cravens.
Cravens.
All right.
Don't forget the Cravens.
Yeah, rough morning starting out. It was raining.
Lord Jesus.
Just like in life, it rains all the time, right? You know what I mean? So I don't know why we live in Florida. Everybody gets so crazy when it starts raining because you know it's going to rain and it's going to stop and it's going to rain.
And it's going to be hot.
And it's going to be hot. So it's like life, you know. Sometimes you got to have the rain so you can grow. So we need the rain. But it started off a very rainy morning. So we're not coming at you from sunny Southwest Florida today. It's coming at you from rainy Southwest Florida.
Thank you, weatherman David.
How now, brown cow? How now? So, baby, how you doing this morning?
Pretty good. Got off a little stressful trying to get the workers,
the
off.
employees
the
going in the
employees,
rain this
yes.
morning. What's up, Miss Diana? How you doing over there? That's my girl throwing the thumbs up.
Throwing the thumbs.
She's got the high maintenance. We are a relentless pain in her, but I'm a Christian, so I'm not going to say it.
Why you do it the other time?
No. But, you know, so let me have a drink of this Clean Cause healthy drink.
What makes an ordinary day extraordinary? It's not about holding on to what you know. It's about letting go. Take the leap beyond the familiar. Find what you're searching for. Here's to connection, to exploration, to being alive in the moment. That's what makes a day extraordinary. Behind every ripple and every splash, something refreshing is brewing.
Come on. What flavor you got?
This is cherry lime. This is very good.
This is
0
watermelon.
calories, too, by the way.
Fabulous.
You know. So we're coming at you today. We got a special guest. Thank you for everybody that's been tuning in. Our numbers have been doing great. Subscribers going up, getting a lot of good feedback. We really appreciate it. It really means a lot to us. We don't take it lightly. We like to joke a lot, but it means a lot to us, everybody that's tuned in, watched, and all that. So thank you guys. So like, subscribe, and hit that bell. We got a special guest with us today.
Come on.
Another buddy of ours that we met in the gym. You've heard us talk about him on some past episodes. The Bearded Wonder, Brandon. Because
you guys, Relentless Hope family. Thank you guys for having me on. I've been looking forward to this.
Yeah.
You know, it's a rainy day here in Southwest Florida, but it's a beautiful day because it's been so hot. We need that rain.
That's
Let
right.
me tell you, viewers. It's been hot down here. We're talking 95, 97 per week. We needed it.
listen to my boy
ain't
Brandon.
lying.
That is a natural right there. See?
Dude, straight off the cuff,
Natural,
man.
straight off the cuff. Does not play around, and you see why we call him the Bearded Wonder. Look at that beard.
Look at that beard.
Thank you guys. You guys are making me blush.
That's dedication. you know what I mean?
Come on.
The first time I met Brandon at the gym, you guys hear us talk about our little gym we go to in Lehigh Acres, Florida, the Mean Streets. You know, you met Storm. He was on one of our episodes, another good buddy of ours. It's kind of our little core unit of misfits. I call us,
sure.
you know, we're also
sure.
kind of, our gym's not the one where they're probably going to come and get a bunch of people to go to Mr. Olympia.
Right.
No, we've got some guys in there that are in good shape with there's some big arm
I've seen
dudes
some
in there.
big dudes in
There's
there.
some big dudes in there doing it. So and none of us don't take it lightly either. I mean, we get in there and put in some workouts.
Oh, yeah,
Come on.
we're working.
Yeah, I mean, I see you in there putting it in there, and you know how we do. But first time I seen Brandon, I seen him just, his beard was just
Glistening.
glistening as he came by, and he's in there. But no, man, we just kind of hit it off the first day, right, B?
Yeah, for sure. I remember I was on the elliptical. That was a HIIT cardio day. So I
Right.
do HIIT cardio for 10 minutes on an elliptical. It's easier for my arthritis on the joints and stuff like that. It's great for people who have mobility issues. So I do HIIT on the elliptical twice a week usually. And I remember I was sweating bullets because, you know, that high intensity. You're going hard for 30 seconds, and then you go slow for 30 seconds, and you go hard as you can for 30 seconds. Repeat till 10 minutes is up. That's my approach for HIIT cardio on the elliptical.
Wow.
So, man, I was sweating, and then I just like got off the elliptical, and you kind of gave me, David kind of gave me like this nod. And I was like, okay. So we started talking. I noticed he had the DDPY shirt on. I was like, oh man, I'm a huge fan of DDP. I grew up watching wrestling.
DDPY
Diamond
family.
Dallas Page.
Bang.
Yeah, let's hit it. Bang.
But so yeah, I had the D, and you said you loved wrestling. That's
Yup,
kind
I
of,
grew up with
and
wrestling.
then I went into the you know what I mean, the
Yeah, we
commercial
started
for
talking.
DDP, and
We were connecting through
Yeah.
DDP.
Yeah.
you
yeah,
know,
and
like
we
you
were like,
kinda just,
yeah, and we started talking, and then it just became the nod, and then you followed us on socials that day.
Yep. I was going to
And,
the Royal Rumble too, like that weekend or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
I
oh,
went
you
that same
was.
week. I went to the Royal Rumble
That's
that
right.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yep, WWE Royal Rumble.
Yep.
That's right.
That's right. And so we just kind of hit it off and started talking, and then, you know, so tell us a little bit about you. That's how we met. We always like to tell you how we met. You know, a lot of people, it's crazy. I won't say who you are, but you know who you are. I like to do that a lot. So they know who they are.
they notice.
It's funny how people don't want to mess with you. And me and you talked about this the other day.
Yeah.
People don't answer your calls or text messages or emails, but then they see that maybe something's growing, something's popping off, some things are going on, and then all of a sudden they try to contact you.
That's how it goes, right?
Right.
Everyone's looking for.
And then they're like,
numbers.
hey, bro, if you need us to be on your podcast, you know, and I'm like, okay, yeah, cool, no problem, you know, and which they might be. Nothing. I'm not going to say your name. You might be. But I'm like, well, I've already got some people that I want to come in and talk to. People that make a difference in my life daily. I wanted to start off with our guests doing that, you know,
That
Storm.
inspire
People
us.
that in the last 6 months have inspired me in my life, you know what I mean?
Right.
W-
And that
through
makes
my
sense.
journey, right?
That makes sense.
So
it should be like that.
Brandon, tell a little bit about where you're from, you know, to bring the listeners and the viewers where you're from, you know, a little bit about Because. Oh, I got to do this. Brandon's name, if he was a hockey player or a basketball
Man.
player,
Here we go.
if he played for the Everblades, they would be like, Brandon Kaluski.
Let's go.
But so I call him Brandon, because I call him a couple different names. But tell us about Brandon.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm a 33-year-old from Baltimore, Maryland. Grew up in Glen Burnie, and I've been in Florida, man, since I was in 5th grade. However old you normally are in 5th grade. Sorry, I gotta fix these headphones a little bit.
Got it.
But yep, grew up in Maryland, came down to Florida. My grandparents took me in due to certain circumstances that my family was going through.
Right.
And been in Lehigh ever since. I lived in Key West for 2 years. So I went from Maryland to Key West, then to Lehigh. So been in Lehigh 20 plus years now.
Right.
Southwest Florida for a while.
Was that a big difference for you, moving from Maryland to Lehigh?
Honestly, the biggest difference, well, yes, but a bigger difference really was Key West to Lehigh, because Key West is like paradise.
Yeah, it's
Heck
different
yeah.
down
It's
there, right?
it's completely different. You're a little kid living in Key West. There's so much to do.
Yeah.
There's always something to do, and like you don't really understand as a little kid either.
Right.
So Lehigh's a lot more quiet.
Yeah.
Not as much going on. I didn't live
The
in the heart of
drivers
Key West.
suck.
I
Is
feel
that?
like that's,
If I say that as a Christian, is suck bad?
I don't
God
know.
forgive me.
It is
Mom,
not
I'm
bad.
sorry.
It's real.
No,
They
but
suck.
anyway.
But
I'm just
yeah, you're good. So I've been in Lehigh a long time now. I grew up here in Florida for the most part, and I got my roots here. I'm a 90s kid through and through.
Yeah.
I love gaming. I love
Right.
taking care of myself. I love horror movies. The
Okay.
the whole genre of horror.
Right, that's
So
okay.
I'm very much about self-care.
I like Chucky.
Yeah, dude. Chucky,
That's the only one I
Chucky,
ever really
man.
well.
And then
My mom will whip me.
beard care, obviously
care.
self-care.
Look
at that
I
beard.
appreciate you guys.
You can't take that beard away. That's dedication, my man.
Yeah,
Come
It's
on.
been October 2022.
Right.
Or, sorry.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, October 2022. That's correct.
That's
That's
when
when
you-
I started growing my beard long. I've always had facial hair. I always
Right.
kept it like groomed up. I haven't gone like fully naked on my face full
Right.
since college, maybe. So 2014,
Right.
2013.
Man,
So
I'm
that's-
old.
I grew out 2022, took it seriously, and that's when I started to dive into self-care, skincare,
Right.
beard care. So I came across a lot of cool people diving into that,
Yeah.
going into content creation.
It looks good, man. It
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, thank you.
And so you moved from Key West. You kind of said your grandparents took you in. Tell us a little bit about how you ended up with your grandparents, if we can. I know you
yeah, for
personally,
sure.
and we talk, but and I know you're as real as they come. Like one thing we respect about each other. You always tell us is that we're transparent. Like you know us because you know some of
That's what I
our
love
everyday
about
life.
Relentless Hope.
Yeah, and because I don't think, people are always selling the lotions and the potions, and if you don't keep it real, I don't get nothing from you. I don't mess with you. So I know a little bit about your past, but tell how you ended up with your grandparents. Tell where you came from and how you really kind of jive with Relentless Hope. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. So for the grandparents, what happened was when I lived in Nabbs Creek, Maryland, my mom and my stepdad at the time got into a car accident. And it was a pretty bad car accident. They didn't have any, I don't think they had any like major injuries, but it still messed them up a lot. And this was, let me say, early 2000s, I want to say. So they got hooked on Oxycontins because that was a time when doctors
that was the pill mill days. That was the pill mill days.
That's
what that was her.
Right.
That's what happened to me.
She was in the heyday of the pill mills. I snorted what I snorted, baby.
Oh Lord. Come on, everybody knows.
but yeah, you were the pill mill days. She was in that was back in her. So
that affected them a lot. It was, I don't blame my mom or my stepdad at the time. He's out of my life. I haven't seen him since Maryland. But I don't blame them for getting addicted. It's a combination, right? It's them wanting more and the doctor saying yes before all the regulations and the crackdown on it.
Because they were making money.
Yes, exactly.
And
Capitalism,
killing people.
baby, isn't that
and now you're seeing a lot of the people from like what you're saying that your parents went through from when you was a kid, and that's when Jonna was going through it when you were a kid, right?
Right.
Is people dying on fentanyl now because they got hooked on oxys then, and then they went to heroin, and now they're still battling that addiction. The ones who haven't passed away. So again, the doctors, big pharma, a lot of those people are to blame for a lot of addiction and deaths that we've seen. So how did that affect you as a kid? Right,
Oh man, I remember it was confusing because I remember getting off the bus after school and my nana's car's in the driveway. Now, the viewers haven't heard this, but my grandparents lived in Key West. So that's how I got to Key West, was through the grandparents, right? So I get off the bus and I remember it like it was yesterday. I'm like, Nana's here. Like I knew the car because my grandparents flew me in every summer when I was growing up. I'd always spend summers with my Nana and Pop-Pop growing up when I lived in Maryland. So I knew, I was familiar. And I was like, why is Nana's car here? Well, like my mom and stepdad, their addiction got to the point where they weren't paying the bills for their rental.
Right.
So we had a rental place and they were going to get kicked out. And my mom told my Nana. My Nana's got a very kind heart. She's an extremely great person. And she decided she didn't want to, she thought maybe they'd be on the streets and she didn't want to see me on the streets. Right. And my dad, my biological father at the time, didn't have the funds or means of taking care of me. My dad was a great person, by the way. Shout out to him. Rest in peace. He passed in 2013. But Nana's car was there. I got off the bus and I was just like, what's she doing here? And she took me up and took me to Key West. Like my dad didn't know either. She didn't tell my dad. Like she apologized and had a conversation with him later about that.
She was just looking out for your well-being.
She came to rescue you.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. And that's how I ended up in Key West. My Nana and Pop-Pop. Eventually, my mom cleaned up, came down, and my mom lives with me now.
So now your relationship, you got to rebuild some of that and
I
make
have
up for those years.
My mother, she, things happen, man. Things happen, and
life
my
ain't fair.
grandparents,
Addiction.
They gave me a good life too.
Yeah.
My mom gave me a good life too before all that, so I'm thankful to have that. My Nana was an enabler. So,
I gotta say, man, coming from the background of drugs and of stuff, you got a very forgiving, sweet spirit. You know what I mean? Because I know we talk, a lot of times, and we always go over, about backgrounds and drugs and life. And just for you saying that, I got nothing against them. Because to get you in life, that's not going to get you nowhere holding something against somebody, right?
Facts.
Because you don't hold them, responsible. Like I learned at a young age, blaming my parents and my dad and this and that's not going to get me anywhere, right? Exactly. And then the more your lineage or what happened or did something, it gives you don't condone what they did, but it gives you forgiveness for them, right? It gives you grace for them, kind of like, So that's one thing I commend you on. Every time I've ever talked to you, you never admit like, and we're going to get into this more. I've never heard you go, well, yeah, but I had to. You know what I mean? You don't have no excuses. You're always positive. Like, hey, look,
always.
I don't blame them. Yeah,
that's just how I am.
And that's what sets you apart. That's why when you walk in, I made a joke about the beard glistening but there's something special about you. You know what I'm saying? When you come in,
like an aura. Like you can feel. I feel it with other people too.
Yeah, you're real, man. You're real, and life is easy.
So I got a question for you, Brandon, because this hits close to home for me because I was an addict and I was the mom that was hooked on OxyContin. Did you have forgiveness right away, or did this come from a place of years of maturity and forgiveness? Were you angry at your mom for a while?
Good question.
When I think back, I don't think I was angry with her. There were times where I was angry with her living together in Lehigh.
Yeah.
Because she was still addicted to pills for a bit. Like it took her a while to get over it. Even when
and that reminded you of hurt, right?
Yeah. So she had her moments. She's good now, and she has been for like the past, 10 years or so, something like that.
Awesome.
But to answer your question, I had my frustrations, but I think I forgave her right away. But it's easier to forgive someone when you have grandparents who are taking very good care of you.
Right.
Let's say there's a situation where I was brought up in an environment I didn't want to be in, not with family.
Yeah.
And maybe that would have been different.
Right.
It could have changed.
I love
right?
my grandparents, like a mother and father
Right.
figures.
Yes.
And I had my mother and I had my father, even though I wasn't raised with my father.
Right.
My mother and father weren't together. They never got married. So like my last name Kozlowski is on my mother's side. My dad's last name is Golden. Kozlowski. I thought about changing my last name to Golden because I love my dad. I miss my dad every single day.
Oh,
But,
I know what that's like.
and it's like I probably should have had his last name, but like I'm a Kozlowski, and
Right.
It fits you.
your name isn't what defines you.
No,
you know what I mean?
man.
It's who you are
No,
as a
you still got
person.
his characteristics. You still got, you know what I
miss
mean?
him,
You
man.
still,
I miss him, man.
you know,
I know.
and so that's, that's a story, man, that you could have took that story and went another way.
You're right. Like harboring.
Right.
Oh, going back to what you're saying real quick. Harboring hatred or having a feeling a certain way about someone only affects you. They're
right.
living rent free in your head.
Right.
You
That's
should
it.
I don't know.
Tell the listeners.
Forgive and remember. I
Right.
preach forgive and remember. But sometimes you do got to cut people off and harbor that. But
Oh,
if you're
yeah.
actually having active hatred for someone every day, they're doing their own thing.
Well,
they're living
forgiveness
their life.
They're living
isn't
their
for the
life.
other person. Forgiveness is for you, my man.
Exactly. I
You know
choose
what I
to
mean?
have no hatred and no
Yeah,
negative
man.
feelings towards anyone, even those who have hurt me the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
that's
see a point.
that's commendable, man. And
Absolutely.
that's why you've got a peaceful spirit about you. You know what I mean? Like I used to listen to certain music groups, back in the rock, metal, rap days. You know what I mean?
listen to all that.
And some of them, man, I just had to quit listening. I'm like, bro, let it go. It's happened, man. You got to get over this, right? And
Oh,
I
yeah,
understand
they'd
there's a
be
lot
crying.
of music, but I'm just thinking of one group, but I won't say who it is. But that's what makes you the person you are. That's why you are, man. Just driving down here and talking and what we were doing. There's no ill will towards anybody because you could have went the other way, right? You could have went like, hey, my mom and dad, my dad's never been around. I never did this. I had to do this.
Yeah.
They did drugs. I should do drugs. I don't have forgiveness, right? So you ever read those books where there's two endings?
Yeah.
Right? You could choose this ending or that ending.
It's like a video game.
Yeah,
Video
yeah.
games
Yes.
have
Right.
options
Exactly.
like that.
Yeah, you're more of a video game guy.
Yeah,
I'm a
I
book
can
guy. I'm a
relate.
little older,
I can
right?
relate.
Right. But so you read a book, you chose the other ending. It could have went another way. You could be hooked on oxys. Like, hey, that's what my mom did. That's what I'm supposed to do, right?
Yep,
So flowers to you for that, man, because not everybody has that outlook and to be as young as you are, right?
Right. I saw it growing up. My aunt and uncle, I mentioned you guys in the viewers on our set, but my aunt and uncle, they were addicted and they're not here today because of that.
Right.
And when they were clean, they were the greatest people on
Right.
earth. And I got to see that firsthand. That was like when I was living with my grandparents from that day forward, it was a revolving door of my aunt and uncle also being there with me,
Right.
depending on who needed them. Like I said, my nana was an enabler and she would admit it to you to this day if she were still here to talk about it and
Right.
where she thinks she went wrong with that. But it's difficult when it's your kids.
Man.
And you try to be the best person I think that you can be. At that point in time, she saw a need and she was trying to fill it, regardless of whether it was enabling or not.
And that's kind of the, how we were talking on the old school way, like, your pop or my dad was like, hey boy, get out there, you do this and you run it a certain way. Kind of, the moms are always the matriarch of the family or the
was
grandmas.
my nana.
So they're going to make everything right, like even back in the day, I can remember a time when my mom, the law's looking for me. My mom wasn't letting them cops in there to get me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nope, he's not here. Even though she really should open the door and said, take him to jail. He didn't do, but her way, she thought she was protecting me. And that's what your
She could have
grandma
been.
was doing.
You never know, too.
Yeah, at that
Yeah.
time too, right?
Right? You could be dead if it
in
weren't for
her
one of those.
eyes,
You
right?
know, so your aunt and uncle were on drugs. Your mom, dad, you've been through it. Now,
Yeah, just mom, aunt,
Yeah,
and
just
uncle. My
your mom.
biological dad never had drug
Never
issues,
did. He wasn't a
but
drug issue.
my stepdad, I didn't really That was just like brief moment.
He
in
wasn't.
time.
Yeah,
You know
he
what I
didn't
mean?
mean a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
First time in
you
life.
got some drugs.
So it's
you
like
got
my Nana's
you got
kids.
your grandma and
Yeah.
pop. They're teaching you. You know, the family unit.
Yeah,
You
like
know
what not to do.
Yeah,
you
what
know?
not to
I've
do.
seen-
Hard
I've seen it.
workers doing their thing. Let's get into, and this is one thing, man. You know, I see you in the gym, bro. Right? A lot of times we're on the same schedule. Some days we miss each other.
Yep,
Some days we're
9:30.
all right. And I keep it real because we're close. We can keep it real. You know, one day I was working out and I'm watching you, and I seen it took you a while to get set up to do your next exercise. Right?
Yep.
Right. So I'm watching you while I'm working out. You're doing my thing. You know what I mean? And I'm watching you out of admiration. Right.
Right.
Like, I know your ailments. I know your right arm doesn't
Yep.
work right. I know your leg. You know, I didn't know exactly what was wrong with you, but I mean, I know, you know, you've got some physical issues. And then I watched you set up, and then I watched how long you worked out on the thing. And I was like, you know, what are you crying about, David? Like, you make a lot of people in there working out look silly because and I've never seen you let it keep you. I've seen people come over, and I've seen people do this to you a couple times. Hey, you need to be doing it this way and that way. And I'm like, dude.
We can talk about that. That hits me a certain way sometimes.
Yeah. I've seen the dude
it
one
hits
day,
me
one day.
a certain way when people do it.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing if what they're telling you and you're like, okay, you know, I get it. But I'm sitting there looking at the dude, you know, I want to kind of smack him. Sorry, but you know, like, cause I'm just
Don't apologize.
Yeah, I'm just being.
I apologize too much.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
I'll
Me
tell
too.
you.
Well, I'm trying to be a different person. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But you know, I'm like, dude, you know what I mean? Like, and it ain't even like he was super workout guy. It ain't like he was Arnold Schwarzenegger and came in.
Right.
Then we would all be like, oh, tell us the way, right? Yeah. And so, you know, I want to give you kudos because when I see you do that, that shows how dedicated you are. Because if anybody's got a reason, and we talked about this about Storm, but even you more than Storm, is you have a reason to not work out or maybe hate life or feel a certain way or what this, you know. So tell a little bit about what your diagnosis is, what's wrong, what you have to deal with on a daily basis for people who make excuses for not going to the gym.
Yeah.
Or eating clean, because you eat clean
man.
too.
Yes, last 2
You
years.
eat clean and you're drinking clean
we're
cause
drinking clean
for a
over
good
here.
cause. Look at that. 50%
Relentless
of
hope.
this is donated for recovery. Anyway, tell them about it.
Yeah, for sure. So, man, where do I start? Let me see. The health problems, we'll start with that.
Okay.
So, about 2013 or so, I noticed my joints hurt a lot, and I didn't really know why. And I started to look for answers, medical answers. The first doctor I went to a basic.
Now, how old were you, Brandon?
Let me see, 2013, so I had to be like 23, 22.
Okay.
So I go to the doctor, try to figure out like, hey, what's going on? I was overweight at the time, wasn't taking care of myself. I go to the doctor and he's like, you're overweight. You lose weight, your joints will feel better. So you know what I did? I went to the gym. I started learning about working out, teaching myself. I never worked out before. I was always just a gamer. I was always just your traditional nerd with like a heart of gold.
Right.
So
Right.
I didn't know nothing about working out or anything like that or eating clean or healthy. So I taught myself. That's what I do. That's one of my strengths is researching, you know, using Google, using
you're
YouTube.
smart.
I grew up on computers. My nana bought me a computer when I was living in Maryland. My parents were going through all that. I've been on computers since I was a little kid. I can type 140 words per minute.
My goodness, son.
Yeah, I'm good on the computer. So
I can talk 140 words.
so I taught myself. I went to the gym. I was going to the World Gym next to Publix in Lehigh on Homestead Road. It's no longer there.
Right.
Yeah.
I went there. I was going there 7 days a week. I was overtraining. I didn't know I was at
man.
the time. I don't now, but I learned a lot during that time. I lost 70 pounds.
Wow.
And I got fit. I was in good shape. I started, my joints were still hurting.
Right.
And I found out, I went to a different primary. I was like, that guy's, you know, he told me that information. I didn't like it. I changed, and I'm not going to go back to that same guy. He kind of hurt me, telling me I'm overweight when I knew it was more than that.
Right.
Of course, they can't tell, so I try not to hold any hate against anyone.
Right.
Even though that did sting a little bit.
Well, I
But I
imagine.
did the right thing. I started living a healthy lifestyle. Went to another doctor, and I'm like, hey, I think, and I started, you know, going on the Dr. Google route.
Right.
Start researching myself, trying to think, what could I have?
Right.
Right.
I'm thinking it's got to be arthritis or something. So I'm thinking, I've had psoriasis, which which is like
Yes.
dandruff.
Right,
so a
right.
lot of people get like, big patches and stuff.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
it mild behind my ears,
Right.
inside my ears, and then
My
dandruff
son Ethan
in my
had it when
head.
he was
So that's
little.
where I get it. I get it
Right.
in a mild form. It's like maybe I have psoriatic arthritis because 1 in 3 people with psoriasis get psoriatic arthritis.
Right, right.
So I go to a new doctor, my Nana's doctor, the same office she would go to. And I talked to the doctor about it. She thought I had lupus. It's like,
Right.
oh man, that would be way worse than what I'm going through now. Like lupus
Right.
is no joke. I don't know too much about it, but I know it's no joke compared to
Right.
what I'm going through. And found out I didn't have lupus because I guess there's like tests and stuff you can do to find that. And arthritis, you can't just be like testing. I mean, you can see gout levels and whatnot on a blood test. but
Right.
They can't really sit there and tell you like it's not easy to find out you have arthritis, especially at a young age. You're in your 20s and
Right.
you're like your
That is
joints are
young.
as like an elderly person's joints.
Right.
So eventually I came to a rheumatologist and named Dr. Baldinger. I still see him today over in Fort Myers by Gulf Coast Hospital. He's over there at Millennium in one of the buildings over there. So shout out to Dr. Baldinger.
Good doctor.
Yep, great
Shout out, Doc.
rheumatologist. Yep, and he's got a beard too. So every time I go in
Right.
there, we're talking about beards.
Beards and
Yeah.
stuff. That's cool.
So he was the one who agreed and diagnosed me with psoriatic arthritis.
Right.
And from there, I was in college. So this was 2012, I graduated college, my bachelor's degree in digital design and animation in 2014.
Wow.
So I finished college. I started doing work, graphic design, and I wasn't really addressing it. I just had an answer for the
Right.
health problems. My arm was still bending at the time, by the way. So my right arm doesn't bend, for those of you that don't know.
Right.
David kind of briefly mentioned it, and I can get more into that as the story goes along, but so I knew I had psoriatic arthritis. I had my answer, and I didn't really want to be on any medication or anything like that because I still felt like I
You
could
were
work out and
anti.
stuff
Right.
without hurting.
And you've seen what happens when people get on
effects.
medication.
Yeah, that
Right,
too. So
yeah.
that scared me. I didn't drink or do drugs growing up because of seeing all that stuff
Right.
with my aunt and
Wow.
uncle, and then like
Smart
the
man.
medicine with my mom. I
Smart
don't drink now. I tried drinking when I was 25, hated it. Don't like the taste of alcohol. To each their own. I don't judge. Like if I was hanging out with someone they're drinking, that's
He'll
fine.
save you a lot
I'm
of
not
mess,
gonna
Brandon.
drink.
It'll save you a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm all about health at this point in life and will
Yeah.
continue to be for the remainder of my days. But
Right.
anyway, so I found out I had psoriatic arthritis. I graduated college. I'm working. And then I had a job in 2017 just working in an office doing web design, graphic design. Because my degree, digital design and animation, is very well-rounded.
Right.
So it's not
Yeah.
just graphic design. I did video work. I did video work for a company for a while for one of my instructors in college. So I've done a lot. I did 3D modeling for
Right.
a bit.
Wow.
So a lot of things on the computer. I'm just very well-rounded.
Right.
Jack of all trades,
all trades.
master of none, but sometimes better than the master of one.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
You
good,
gotta
man.
add that. You got to add
You
that
heard
last
that?
part. There's
That's-
nothing wrong.
That's
with
one of
it.
them relentless hope nuggets.
Come on.
Yes, let's go, relentless hope, and yeah, you got to include that last part. But anyway,
Yeah. No.
Oh.
Editor, pick that up.
Yes,
Make
for
that
sure.
into a short.
Yes.
yes, for sure. And so I'm working 2017, and like I'm noticing, I'm still working out. I'm still in the gym. I'm in really good shape, and I noticed that like my body's hurting worse than ever, and it was my hip, my left hip, and found out that I needed a left hip replacement.
Oh, man.
That's when I found out I have osteoarthritis as well. So
Oh,
I got
my
the double
goodness,
dose. So I got
bro.
psoriatic arthritis and osteoarthritis. I went to a different doctor, got my hip replaced. That year in 2017 from that job, I got fired from that job because they didn't need me. They didn't really need me for all that stuff I was doing. It ended up dying down. They didn't need me at a certain point. It didn't make sense for them to continue having me on the team.
Right.
Right.
So what I did was I took a year and I got health insurance through Obamacare, through healthcare.gov, whatever it's
Right.
called now.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that helped me tremendously.
Tremendously,
I
right.
had 3 surgeries that year. One was a total left hip replacement. Because that sharp pain in that hip during that job, I couldn't go in Publix, any grocery stores without having like intense pain.
Right.
It wasn't worth it. That was one of the best decisions I ever made was getting that hip
Getting the
replaced.
hip
'Cause
replacement.
It was, and I might need my right done soon. I'm starting to feel it in my right.
Right.
And I'm gonna figure that out. But yeah. So I got that done 2017. I took a year. I had 3 surgeries. I have a lot of range of motion issues with my arthritis. So like my neck, my arms, my knees, my ankles. I can't squat. I can't deadlift. This was before the arm not bending and everything.
Yeah.
So it was piling on, and the range of motion stuff just added up. I do what I can.
Right.
You know, you work with what you got. That's something
right.
I learned
And
at
you
an early
work.
age.
You work though. Like in the gym, you work though.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
for sure.
you're not in there just like, oh, I'm kind of going to lift 10 pounds.
No.
Like
No.
you're
I'm strength training.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
you're working out.
I wanna
bro.
be strong.
I watch you, man.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you know, I'm usually jumping around, rapping or whatever I'm doing,
Yeah.
but I'm always watching. Like I'm like, dude, he's doing it. You know what I mean? So you're putting in work, man.
You guys grind too.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
yeah, But I'm saying,
thank you.
Yeah, I'm saying for what you're like, you got motion. You can't. It ain't like you can just turn around, grab the rack, and lift it up.
No,
right?
I can't.
Yeah.
But you make it happen, man, and I'm proud of you for that, bro.
Thank you.
For what that means, but so
That means a lot.
so go ahead. So you got the hip replacement.
Oh, yeah, so I
you
got
realize
the hip replacement. Yeah, and then so to show the viewers, my range of motion in my left arm, since it can bend, my left arm can bend. It's not full. Oh, okay. Okay. So my range of motion in my left arm isn't 100%. And my point in showing you this extension, you see there's still an angle there.
Right.
Now at flexion, it's almost 100%. It's pretty close. But my point in bringing that up is my right arm was in the same position. Right. So my goal was to get 100% range of motion in this arm. And I wish I never did that.
Really?
I feel like I went to Miami. I went to a great doctor at the time, and I was like, hey, I want better range of motion. I had that good insurance. I had like platinum insurance through healthcare.gov, so I could do anything.
Right.
And I was trying to tackle one thing at a time, get range of motion back. So I got a surgery, elbow capsular release on my right arm. And the doctor said, hey, I had it done in Miami. So I'm not going to go do PT in Miami. I lived in Lehigh, which is about an hour and a half to 2 hours away from Miami. So he said, wait 2 weeks after surgery and start PT. So I did that. And my arm locked in full extension. So I go back and I have the surgery done again. And I have to get in PT within 3 days. So I came out here in Naples to do PT this time. And that was great. Everything was going well. They're trying to get this arm bending again. And my appendix ruptured. So I had to go to the hospital for 2 weeks with no PT. Guess what? My arm locked again. When you're so young and you're going through that, and it's just like the rain keeps going. It's hard to keep it together.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And, I kind of just, from there, I was like, the health insurance was running out at that point because I got the first surgery in April. I got the second elbow capsular release later. I don't remember what month, maybe like November or something. So the insurance was running out. I didn't have a job. And I'm like, all right, my health is letting me down. And I'm constantly having to fight these battles that I shouldn't have to. And I'm like, okay, I think I need to get on disability. Like I talked to family and friends about it. And so what I did was I applied for disability. Yeah. I stopped working. From there, it's difficult to keep it together. Like I had my moments. It's difficult.
As anybody would.
Right. Like you were talking about in one of the episodes, I can't remember, maybe it was episode 2 of your guys' podcast. You were like, you've had your conversations with God where you were like, I don't remember if you said you were cussing or they weren't good conversations. They weren't positive.
It was after the hurricane.
I cussed, man.
Oh, he cussed.
I had those too. I have my wife.
And you're like, really? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Right. Like, what? I mean, come on, man. What'd I do?
I'm 20-something, early 20s, and I'm having all these health problems of an 80-year-old elderly person.
Right.
It's not fair.
Right.
It's really not.
God's sovereignty is something we'll never understand. You know what I mean? And no matter where you're at, believe it. I believe in Jesus, and it each their own. But sometimes, call it what you will, we don't understand why certain things happen to certain people, or somebody who would make a great parent can't have a baby, but somebody who is a horrible parent has 20, right? You know what I mean? Like, or somebody who's not done a drug and not doing this, why is this happening? And then some people just overdose and get up and do another drug and they're fine. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't, but it's making you the man you are.
Exactly. That's something I learned quickly.
And encouraging people.
Yep, that too. I would love to inspire people like you guys.
Well, you do. You inspire me.
When I'm in the gym and all that, and I'm talking to people, I don't ever, like I told you guys, I don't really talk about my health problems with people because I don't want anyone feeling sorry for me.
No, you don't.
No.
I like to show everything through work, hard work. Like if you guys see me
that's
in the
what I'm
gym,
saying. Yeah,
that's it. I don't complain.
No, dude, I've never heard you one time. I've heard you say, a little stiff today, but I'm gonna get at it or whatever. You know what I mean?
To it. I never stop. I don't skip a workout.
No,
and if I have to skip a workout, let's say the gym's closed, I'm going in there on one of my.
I mean, you're already talking about going when we get done today.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I'll be hitting the gym tonight, whatever time I get
home. And that's what I'm saying. There's people that make more excuses not to do it when you could have legitimate excuses to not go to the gym and you don't. That's why I'm saying that's inspiring to me. That's why I gravitate towards you. That's why I watch you. That's why I'm like, there's been days, bro, that you don't know that maybe I was having a bad day or maybe my body was hurting, you know what I mean? Or whatever. And I watched you and it's pushed me through.
Thank you.
Facts, man. You know, it's
Yeah.
100% fact. Storm too, same thing.
Absolutely.
And
it always makes us so happy.
yeah, and when we see you, you know what I
Same
mean.
to
It's
you guys.
always a good thing. And you follow us, man, and you know our stuff. You know, it's one thing. A lot of people will tell you they're going to do this, and you know this from doing beard products and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I got your back, and I'm going to do this. And then there's the ones who really do, right? And kind of goes back to what I said earlier. I won't say your name. Somebody contacting you because they see your numbers might be running up versus somebody who's there just because they got your back, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, you know, we're thankful for you. You're an inspiration
Thank you.
to many, and I know a lot of our viewers. You're gonna watching this. You ain't got no excuse to not go work out. You ain't got no excuse.
No.
No excuse.
I semi-agree.
Right.
Right? Because like some
You-
people literally can't because they're trapped financially.
That's one
But
thing.
You're right. You can find time.
It's
you can do push-ups.
2024, buddy. You can put a YouTube video on and do
Come
squats
on.
or
You
whatever.
don't have to go to the gym to work out.
Absolutely
You can
not.
you can just eat clean.
You seen my garage working
You don't
out?
have to work out.
You
You
can
can
read
just
a
eat
book
healthy.
to work out.
Yeah.
That'll lower different things inside your body.
Put
Your
on a YouTube
breathing, you
video.
can work
Right.
out. I had to do it last night, but we won't get into that. I almost did it, and I said I wasn't going to.
Don't do it. Wait, I want to ask Brandon though,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we were talking about your dad. So when did your dad come back into your life?
So my dad, growing up, I never got to live with him, and I love my dad, man. He molded me who I am today. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
a wrestling fan without my dad. I might
Right.
not have met you guys.
Right,
You know that
right.
DDP
Right.
shirt.
Right.
Maybe my dad, I wasn't into wrestling, you know, but he's the reason I'm into wrestling. I'm a huge Ravens fan and Orioles fan because
Right.
of him. But anyway, I never got to live with him growing up. So part of my goal growing up was to live with him for 1 or 2 years after I graduated college and could like move up to Maryland, live
Get
with
to
him,
know him.
Right.
get to know him more on a personal and physical proximity level. He used to always send me the best birthday gifts and Christmas gifts. He bought me PlayStation.
So you
He's
knew
your
he was
dad,
thinking
man.
of
He loves
so
you,
he
man.
was
He loved
always
you.
there. Yes, he was
Right.
always there for me. Whether he called me
Right.
every other week at least, or a couple times.
Oh,
a month,
well, he
you
kept
know?
contact,
Yeah, we
man,
kept
yeah.
contact. I got
That's more than
nothing.
my real dad kept with me, so he's
So,
doing good, you know?
I know my dad would have been there for me if he could have been. He had a wife and a daughter at the time. I don't have a sister, but like his wife's daughter. So
Yeah.
they had a lot going on with
Right.
that, and he got married and all that later on. So he would have been there for me had he could have been. But when he passed away, that crushed me, and it still affects me to this
I can
day.
tell. I can
Yeah.
tell.
He passed away in 2013 shoveling snow on Valentine's Day for the elderly community he was living with at the time, because him
man.
and his wife split.
Right.
And he was living with like a room with an elderly person or something like that. I don't know the exact details, but yeah, he went out helping people. He just had a heart attack in the snow, and that happens every year. People
Right.
have a heart attack shoveling snow. And he was 59.
Oh, yeah, that happens a lot where I'm
59,
from.
man.
Yeah.
Young.
That's young, bro.
Yeah, it kills me that he passed. Like I've lost a lot of family members. Like, you know, I got a great combination, but I choose to be positive and loving and happy. I got the combination of having elderly joints and having to fight health problems every single day, and then I got the combination of I've lost almost my entire family. My mom's side is just my mom and I. Everyone
Right.
else has passed away. My dad's side is huge, but they're in Maryland, and I am close to some of that family, but
Right.
it's different when it's like
Yeah.
you didn't grow up around them.
It
You,
is.
you don't have the bond.
Yeah.
Not that they don't love you, but I mean, you know, it's
Yeah,
the same thing.
exactly.
Like if you didn't grow around, it's not like you go in and get in the refrigerator because you didn't know them like
Yeah.
you would at your nana's house. You go in and get in the refrigerator at your house, right?
It's
Yeah.
completely different. So it feels like you're lonely, and like I just got my mom. My mom and I's relationship's good, but it's like my family's gone, man.
Yeah.
I'm 33 and my joints, I got the elderly joints, so it's like it hurts, but I choose to keep pushing forward. You know, you just keep going.
It's mindset, man.
Yeah.
It's mindset. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you got a strong one. I'm not saying you're perfect. You don't have your days. We all do, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I was
I have
having a
my
morning,
days.
wouldn't I be?
Got your house. I
Hey,
was like, oh, this poor kid.
he got to come to the house and see a little bit earlier. You know what I mean?
I came over. This man was outside messing with something, putting a tarp on something. I'm like, he's going. What's he
He-
doing?
he
With
does.
with a pair of brand new Jordans on. What am I
Yeah.
thinking, right?
Y'all are working.
That's
I
what we
respect
do,
it.
man.
It-
You know,
it
I got up
doesn't
at
stop.
4. I done worked half a day before we even left to come down here and do this. But that's what we do, and we grind. So getting off of the thing, B, it's just been awesome, man. Hearing your story and getting to know stuff I didn't know a little more. You know,
Thank you.
Tell us about the beard products. I want to pump that out a little bit. I know
Let's
you.
go.
I know since your Nana and everything that happened, you kind of eased back. And I know when we first met, you were doing
Yeah,
the
I
beard
was
content
really into
big
it.
time.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about it, man, because that's some positive stuff. And I know you're going to probably start hitting it back up again.
The door isn't closed yet.
Yeah.
The door isn't fully closed, but I'm working on
Tell them a
getting
little
off
bit.
disability.
Yeah.
Getting
Tell
a
them
job
about
is
where
my
they can
number
find
one.
you at, or what you did, and
yeah,
what you
for
do,
sure.
and beard products.
So-
and we'll put the link down in the description too.
Yeah, you guys can hit me on YouTube. You can just type at b-cause. I only have one video. It was a great video too, and I had a lot of love from the beard community for that. Shout out to the beard community, everyone
That's
in
right.
the beard community.
right.
Dan C, Healthy Bearded, all my friends, Chris and Tara at True North Beard Company, wonderful people. So to answer your question though, how the beard stuff started, after a breakup I went through with an ex, like I really started, I let myself go.
Always a woman.
Yep. So
Always.
going back to the arm and stuff in 2017, sorry to get to the beard stuff. It's kind of like,
go
No, it
tell the
intertwines.
story, my man.
yeah. So after the arm stuff, I eventually did get on disability in 2019. I applied for disability. I got on it. You can't bat now. You can look at me. I have people ask me in the grocery store, "Did you get in a car accident?" And I know they care,
Right.
but it hits me a certain way.
Right.
It hurts me on the inside. Like
Right.
it kind of makes me want to cry, but I don't.
Right,
And
right.
I'm like, because
It's okay
it shouldn't
if
be
you want to
like
cry.
that. I don't
Yeah.
want people to see that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But at the same time, it's me. And I have
Right.
to embrace it.
Right.
Like I was at Publix the other day picking up something.
Yeah, but you're in the store buying stuff, walking.
Yeah.
You could be at home like, I'm gonna order. I don't want. You know what I mean?
Yep, I'm
I mean,
always going.
you're a gangster, but go ahead.
Yeah, so the lady, the cashier was like, "Are you okay? Did you get injured or something?" And I'm like, "People care,
Right.
and I don't take it a certain way, but it still hits me because I
Right.
shouldn't be having those questions asked to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it.
Right.
But anyway,
Personal.
I get on disability in 2019. I got a girlfriend at the time. She was great. We lived together, and COVID comes around. My goal. So my goal after losing that health insurance I mentioned with my arm
Right.
was to get on disability and then start attacking my health problems again,
Right.
try to get this arm bending again.
Right.
That
Right.
was my goal. Then COVID came around in right after I got on disability. I got on disability towards the end of 2019, right when COVID started kicking. And that's when I was just like, I just shut down, man. I let myself go. I stopped working out. I got up 288 pounds. Me and my girl, yeah, I was a big boy. So these
Yeah.
last 2 years, I lost 100 pounds. I've been grinding these
Yeah,
last 2
you're
years.
hitting it, man.
clean,
Good
eating
job,
healthy,
bud.
getting
I didn't
back
know
to
that.
it. I gave up. I don't know if I would say give up, but I really let myself go. I stopped caring. I was playing video games all day, every day. You want to talk about addictions? I wouldn't say I was addicted to video games, but some people do get addicted to
Right.
video
Oh,
games.
yeah.
I'm not going to say I
Absolutely.
was, but it was my only thing I could do. I was just like, my health's going down. Why should I keep trying?
Right.
I just gave in.
Kind of
and
gave up a little bit.
Frustrated.
My ex understood. She understood. And yeah, so I stopped taking care of myself, got to see everything with COVID. And I'm kind of like, I kind of wasted time doing that. And
Right.
wasn't utilizing that health insurance like I should have been. And,
Right.
Sadly, a breakup is kind of a wake-up call. And that's not why we broke up, by the way.
Right.
It had nothing to do with my health problems or me
Right.
not taking care of myself like I should have been at that time.
Right.
It was something completely different. I won't get into it. But yeah, so a breakup usually wakes you up. You know, that's just
That's
how
true.
it goes.
It
And
is.
it was a mutual breakup, so it is what it is. And
Opens your eyes.
yeah, it opens your eyes, and it's sad that it usually takes an event like that. Like even COVID, as an example, woke people up.
Yeah.
It's always
Yeah.
something that wakes you up. A hurricane comes through, you lose your house, it
we
wakes
know
you all
about
up.
that. Right.
Yeah, right.
A traumatic
those
event.
are
Makes you think,
that's
oh,
completely
my.
different.
Yeah.
But,
Right.
Yeah. So I
It makes
woke
you
up.
see things differently.
Yep.
you know?
And then so you went through the breakup.
Yeah,
and then
I started eating healthy. That was
Right.
the first thing. I started cooking food for myself again instead of getting McDonald's,
Right.
fast food, and all that. That was the first step.
Right.
So I started eating clean, and then eventually I was going to PT all the time. I started utilizing my health insurance, seeing what I could do with my health. I addressed my arm. I found out that 2 bones in my arm merged from taking too long to take care of it, and my
Right.
only option for this arm to get bending again is a elbow replacement.
Right.
That's not worth it for someone my age. You got to get an elbow replacement done every 5 years. You can only have a 5-pound weight limit. So you see me in the gym doing big shrugs
Right.
or stiff leg deadlifts. I couldn't do any of that
Right.
anymore. So there's things I just wouldn't be able to do. It's not
Right.
worth it. It brings on a lot of pain. My arm doesn't hurt. It's just stiff and it's locked.
Right.
So yeah, I got on an arthritis injection, biologic called TOTS, which is great. I'm on a different biologic now. That's all I use for medication for my arthritis. It leaves my inflammation at bay. It kind of blocks the proteins that
Right.
cause my inflammation. And it also helps with my range of motion not getting worse in my knees, my ankle, my neck, etc. All my joints essentially.
Right.
So yeah, I started taking care of myself. I lost all that weight. I was going to PT all the time. Shout out to Select Physical Therapy
Right.
over in Lehigh. They helped me tremendously
Right.
with range of motion in my neck. I had ankle surgery last April. That was my last major surgery. It was to get my foot flat because, like, my arthritis, like I said, range of motion in your joints.
Right.
So my left foot, I would walk on the front of it. So kind of like at an angle like this.
Right.
So the goal was to get it flat.
Right.
We got it flat. Had an Achilles lengthening surgery where they cut your Achilles in like a Z shape and then extend it, tie it back together. Now my foot's flat.
That's awesome.
So I started taking care of myself, got major surgery, started working out in the gym once I was feeling better after PT. I switched to our gym, Optimum, last
Shout
December.
out Optimum.
Yep, Optimum. Yep, very chill gym, like you said. Not a lot of big people, but it's like people. I love gym environment. I love gym culture. Everyone's there for a different reason. Of all cultures, of all backgrounds. I love meeting people. I love building relationships. The gym is where I do that. I did the same thing at World Gym back in, I was telling you, 10 years ago when I lost that 70 pounds. So yeah. I've been doing good for myself since. So during that time of taking care of myself, I wasn't working. I was on disability, but I was taking care of my nana. She got dementia real bad, man. She met you guys. She'd forget y'all in 30 seconds. Right. But she was still kind and happy and nice. Thankfully, I didn't have the mean streak from where you guys are with dementia, but they can get a little crazy. And it could happen to any of us. Absolutely. It's hard, you know, and also keeping in mind, that's another thing. I'm kind of tracking off a little bit, but remembering someone for who they once were and not after the dementia or whatever it is that affects them towards the end of their life affects them. That's not the same person.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
So, I was taking care of my grandmother. COVID really put us down. Like, if I was taking care of myself during COVID, it would have been much harder. Because all the regulations. It would have been much harder to see doctors and take care of myself back then. So maybe that all happened for a reason, you know? That's why I'm agnostic and not atheist. I think there's a lot of things that happen that are, it's just logic can't explain it, which is why I believe there's something out there. There's got to be something out there. Like after my nana passed away, she passed away this January, peacefully, thankfully. She had a fall in October and her quality of life declined after that fall, but it could have been much worse. She still lucked out. And I'm glad that she's at peace now. She was Christian. So she's with my aunt, my uncle, my dad, my pop. And she's at peace, which is great. So trying to remember my point in bringing all that up, man.
About the beard. We were getting to beard products.
Oh,
How you started doing the beard.
Yes, my apologies. There's a lot.
Hey, man.
There's a
Talk,
lot.
man. It's a conversation, bro. It ain't no.
So the beard stuff, I'll go that. So around that breakup that I mentioned, I was jumping into self-care. I started taking care of myself again. And part of that was beard care. I've always had facial hair since 2014. I kept it short. Maybe I never grew it out ever. I'd always just use the measurements on the razor and just go with that. I always keep nice stubble, pretty much nice clean shaven look. So October 2022 or so, I'm like, you know what? I want to grow a Kratos beard, which is a character from a video game, God of War character Kratos. It's a very common thing for a lot of gamers that play that game to see Kratos and say, hey, I want to grow a beard like Kratos. Yes.
And so that's how it started.
That's where I was like, God of War is my favorite game of all time. God of War 2 for the PS2 back in the day. So I'm like, he grew a beard in one of the later games. I was like, you know what? I want to try growing my beard out. Never have. So I did the yeared. There's a thing, I don't know if you guys are familiar, are you?
No.
Okay, so a yeared, you press the B with a Y.
Right.
You grow out your facial hair for a full calendar year.
Right.
Some people will get a little bit of grooming done, a little maintenance.
Trimming or something.
But a traditional yeared has none of that.
No, you just let it grow.
Yes, you just let it grow. So I had maybe 1 or 2 trims during mine, like a mustache, and I messed up shaving one time before I started the year. So I had my barber reset me before I started the year. But anyway, I grew the year. It was just part of self-care. It was just something new I wanted to try. I started going on YouTube and research and Reddit and Google and researching product like beard oil, beard butter, straighteners, all that. I came across a bunch of YouTubers. I'm trying to think how it all started. There's a guy who has a series from Beard Brand. I believe his name is Jack Malaco. If you look up on YouTube, a Beard Brand Yeared series. It's with Jack Malaco. He grew out the calendar year and he had a video each week talking about what he was doing and like the whole process. So I started watching them. I'm like, I'm going to try this. Because when I looked up how to grow a Kratos beard on Google, it's just like, they're all just like, you got to grow. You got to grow your beard. And obviously that's the easiest answer. Just let it go. Let your neck hair go. Let everything go. That's hard,
man. I can't do it, bro. I've tried getting I went through a thing. I was just like, I can't. That's too much going on for me.
You just get aggravated with hair.
You gotta be patient.
That's something I'm working on is my patience. I'm not the most patient fella in the world. But you have to be patient to grow a beard.
Yeah, so you have to let the neck go. You have your awkward phases, right? So it's part of it. You got to let it go and let it grow. So I did that for a whole year, and then along that year, I learned so much, and I came across so many YouTube videos. After that Yeared series, I came across the YouTuber named Healthy Bearded, Jay Cruz, and I vibed with his videos and his beard content. He's a great guy. And then I eventually came across Dan C. Bearded, who's another great guy. I met him in person. Well, I'll get into that. And let me think how it all started, really. I started joining. I remember Dan C. Bearded does live streams on YouTube on Monday nights, Wednesday nights with his wife. They do Beard Advice Live, so giving advice to viewers and stuff like that. And, his Monday stream is usually called Command. It's called Commands Corner, and usually it's sponsored by like a company, and they'll do giveaways and stuff. Anyway, I remember joining his Commands Corner stream one night. I just saw it because I subscribed to him along like learning about beard care. Yeah, and I was like, is there a community like Reddit or something? I asked him in the chat that I could join to just talk about beards, self-care, and all that. And he's like, yeah, check out my Facebook group, Commands Corner on Facebook. So I joined that, started to have fun, get to know people on there, and got to know people in his YouTube live stream, and just get to know the beard community a little bit. And then it's
crazy. There's a whole community. Yeah. Big time.
Yeah,
Beards are big time.
Yeah. Shout out to the beard community. Like, they are such a happy, positive, kind group of people. They don't discuss the dividing things like politics and religion. Yeah. They just keep it beards and, entertainment. Just positive.
No, I know it's a whole community. Yeah. And so you met them dudes, and then you started going out. And tell about your own products. So we got to wrap this up here in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, tell about your stuff, like what you got into.
Yeah. So I started doing, I was like, you know what, maybe I should try beard content creation, because there's things that the beard content creators don't do that are in like that. I wanted to kind of combine the gaming world,
right?
And like
make your own lane. That's what I wanted you to talk about. Yeah.
Dan and Jay Cruz, Healthy Bearded, respected that, and they kind of saw, like, because we follow each other, and they saw that I wanted to dive into content creation. I met Dan in real life at a beard competition. By the way, I got second place in my category at the National Beard Competition last year.
Oh, that's awesome.
2023. 3 to 6 inch fully groomed category at second place out of 9. My category had some of the most. Like, a lot of categories maybe had like 2 to 3 people.
Right.
Anyway, it's a second biggest beard competition.
There you go.
In the world.
Good job.
Yep. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
So I met a lot of cool people there. Dan was there. I got to meet him in person. But anyway, after that, I was thinking about doing content creation because I have a background in that. My digital design and animation. I know how to edit video. I understand lighting and camera setups, like what we're doing right now, microphones, all that.
Shout out Miss Diana.
Yeah, shout out to her. Hey. So I'm like, you know what? Let me try this. I posted a little short on Instagram, and I got a lot of love from the beard community for that. They're like, you should. You're bringing something different to the table. And then Healthy Bearded Jay Cruz had an anniversary stream, his 3rd year of doing beard content. Right. They do live streams a lot in the beard community. And Dan was on there, and they were talking about newcomers, and I didn't even release a reel or a video yet. I just released a teaser, like, hey, I could do this or that. Should I do this? And Dan's just like, he brings me up. He's like, my buddy B-Cause here. He's going to be a beard content revolutionary. And I'm just like, I didn't ask him to do that.
Cool. Right. And that's Dan. A shout out from a big guy in the beard community.
I would say he's the #2 beard YouTuber. If you type in anything on YouTube, if you guys have any questions about beard products, type in Dan C and then your question. Like, Dan C, how to apply beard oil. There is a 90%
We'll put a link
chance.
in the description.
Yeah, for sure. He's a great human being.
Send me a check, Dan.
Met him in person.
I'm just playing. I'm joking. I'll send you a check, Dan.
Yeah, there you go. He'll
say what?
He'll do a consultation call with you. He grinds, man. That guy works just like you guys. But, if you type in Dan C and then any question about a beard product or styling or whatever question you may have, grooming, he likely has a video on it. 90% chance. That's how I came across him. But anyway, he shouted me out on the anniversary show, and I started getting hit up by beard companies. I didn't even do anything yet.
Right.
Like, they just respected the fact that someone was bringing something different, because you guys know how it is as content creators. People try to copy all the time.
Oh, well.
And it's just, they think
there's nothing new under the sun. It's okay. This is my saying. Well, it's not my saying. I copied it. It's okay to be a copycat as long as you copy the right cat, and then put your twist on it, right? Yeah. It's like everybody's got a podcast, right? Everybody's doing, you know what I mean? And so there's so many copiers, but if you can take it and then put your spin on it, it makes it original.
Exactly.
Right.
There, like you said, nothing's new, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like I said, I was trying to combine different avenues into one to bring it to the beard universe, like tier list and stuff. A lot of guys don't do anything like that. So I'm like, I'll just add something new.
Yeah.
And they respected it, and they shouted me out, which they don't really do stuff like that usually, because a lot of people are just trying to be a carbon copy of them, which they don't say that, obviously.
Yeah, but you were doing something different.
Yep. So they respect that. So I started really getting into that. I created my first YouTube video, an unboxing with True North Beard Company. Got a lot of positive reception for that, like 600, 700 views. I'm not a numbers guy. I don't care about the algorithm numbers. I was doing it because I love it.
Right.
I think that's the approach.
Same thing with us.
Take that approach, because if you're focused on stressing out about numbers and the algorithm, it's good to learn about it.
No.
But don't freak out and stress out about it.
It takes like, I'm not doing this podcast because I'm making a lot of money off this podcast, okay? You know, I'm not doing music because I move pool tables for a living, man. Okay? Now, don't get me wrong. If you know, there's checks that came and different things and coming a little more, but I'm saying we do this because we want to do this, and it's an outlet, and it helps people, and it gives people information. Same reason why you're doing it. So not being a numbers guy is awesome. You know what I mean?
I didn't care if I got 5 views. It takes the fun out of it, I think. If I got 5 views, I wouldn't have cared.
Right.
I would have kept going. But, you know, I got to know beard product company owners. I got to know a lot of cool people in the beard community. Like I said, everyone's so kind and nice, including the owners. These are small batch beard product owners.
Right.
It's better for you to buy from these small batch guys, because the stuff in the stores, besides maybe Honest Amish, is the only one I can think of that is good, actually good for you.
I've never met an Honest Amish. No, I just went. I watched the Amish Mafia.
I want to meet some Amish.
So I got to know.
They build great furniture.
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I'm just playing, man.
No, so I got to know a lot of cool people, and I was full on board on the content creation when I met you guys. And I was still on disability. I had the time. I was taking care of my nana. Right. I had time to do something on the side and hustle on that.
You're
going to
get back at it, though.
Yeah. And I did like 2 different reels. One was a giveaway for Christmas for people in needs. Like, hey, do you know any guys with a beard that could use product?
That's a good angle.
So I did that. Awesome. I did a reel with True North Beard Company. We did that together. They offered to do that with me as my first piece of content. I was like, man,
look at that.
So cool.
Look how you only did a couple things and they're already blowing you up. So
I guess they can sense it. Like
we wind in this here, we're getting on time here. I want to encourage you, if I can, is look how many people were reaching out to you. That's a calling, right?
Right.
That's a positive calling. Look, the first thing you wanted to do was help people who might need something, right? Most people are worried about, can you send me this? Can you send me that? Can you send me that?
Free product. Don't do it for free product.
That's why.
Don't.
Yeah. But you know, the thing is, you know, I think you need to really get on that hustle and on that grind and do it and put yourself into that, man, and it'll blow up probably more than what you want to know.
I've thought about discussing my health. I thought about doing more than beards, because
you can do it all.
No shot to the beard community or beard content creators, but there's only so much you can do for beards.
Right.
It's a small niche group.
Right.
So I'm thinking combining gaming, combining my health problems.
That's already what you're doing.
My experience, like I'm doing here with you guys.
You're just going to do you. Just do you, and it'll
Be
work.
myself. Yeah.
Well, man, we want to thank you, B. You know, man, we got nothing but love for you. You know that, man. Personally, thank you for coming down here and talking with us and being transparent and sharing your story.
Yeah.
We'll have links for the beard stuff in there. And, you know, just keep pushing, brother.
Always.
You know what I mean?
The grind never stops.
You inspire me, dude. Like,
thank you. You guys inspire me.
I like being around people that inspire me. And it's, again, you know, we can all type in a motivational speaker and a preacher and a fitness guy, and all that inspires me too, but nothing inspires me more than real life stuff. People that are right around me, right?
People you come in contact
and
with.
you inspire me. Real
not
life.
Social media.
Not social media.
Real. Not for money.
Now, you know, you're as real as they get, and I see it. People may not see it. I see it in the gym. I see what you do, and I see it's one thing to talk about it. It's one thing to see him get in with his arm not being able to bend, and him getting set up, and then him lifting the weights and putting in as long as workout as we are. Yeah. So, Clean Cause. This is an awesome drink. It's healthy. 50% of it goes back for profits of support addiction and recovery. CleanCause.com. Get on there. That's all you'll see. Relentless Hope drink besides water. What do you feel? You got hopped up on it, didn't you?
This is good, man. I don't really drink.
If you'd have went to the bathroom, I'd have thought something different. But since you didn't go nowhere,
it's clean.
It's healthy. It's clean, man.
And I only eat clean. I track my macros. I've been eating clean for 2 years. I had maybe 1 or 2 cheat meals, and that's because of dates.
Man, that's gangster. You got to do what you got to do, bro. For the girls.
It is what it is.
You know, this girl loves coffee. Nothing against people. I'm trying to get her off of coffee, and this will hop you up. But no, Clean Cause is amazing, healthy drink. It's another avenue you could take if you're an energy drink junkie or you need a get up and go.
What makes an ordinary day extraordinary? It's not about holding on to what you know. It's about letting go. Take the leap beyond the familiar. Find what you're searching for. Here's to connection, to exploration, to being alive in the moment. That's what makes a day extraordinary. Behind every ripple and every splash, something refreshing is brewing.
So we're out of here. It's Relentless Hope. David Cravens.
Jonna Cravens.
Hey, Brandon Kozlowski, aka B-Cos. Thank you guys.
Kozlowski.
Hey, thank you guys for having me on. And I want to give you a quote real quick because I know you love.
Listen
You're a
to
quote
the quote.
guy.
Yes, I am.
Die and be free of pain, or live and fight your sorrow. I choose to live and fight my sorrow. Things could always be worse.
Oh, that's good. Another Relentless Hope nugget in there. Till next time, stay relentless.
Peace.